Welcome to another edition of Coffee with Kenny.
Good morning.
Good morning. Happy Friday to you.
Glad to be here.
So we put out on Facebook for questions from your members, and we got 3 questions, and I wanted to ask you those. First of all, thanks for accommodating me here. We're changing studios. We usually broadcast from the 5th floor, but thanks to the Atlanta North Georgia Building Trades, they're moving to the 3rd floor and we're going to have a really nice studio to be able to broadcast from moving forward. So we'll have to do with the makeshift studio here today. So, all right, you ready to fire away?
I am.
Okay, so the first one says, when is the graduation that was postponed supposed to take place?
So it's really cool. We are going to do something different that we've never done before because of the size of the 2 classes. We're combining the 2020 class and the 2021 class. It's going to be May the 20th for both classes. So also on May the 20th is our Six Flags Family Day. It's a Friday. So what we're going to do is we're going to open the park early for those 2 classes to have their graduation and their families to be able to come. So as soon as we start the graduation, they'll be in the park. They can get out and have a couple hours to go ride rides before even the members get there to get in.
Awesome.
So that's all in the works. So we met with Six Flags. Actually, Kevin and a couple of our guys went and met with Six Flags Monday.
Awesome.
And good venue. We'll be able to do both classes at the same time, and then they'll be able to hit the park when they get done. So we're excited about that. That's something we've never done, and we're going to be able to get both years of graduation into that facility, and it's going to be fun. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. That's one of my favorite events that we do down here. It's a blessing to be able to serve, but to be able to go to those apprenticeship graduations, I put it up there with our retiree luncheons. Yeah. So it's a good time. We're excited. So May the 20th is when that's going to be.
That'll be great. So let's see. The second question is, what's going on with Rivian? I've been seeing the news about a dispute with the people in that area. Are they still going to build it here?
So, we're always hopeful. Yeah, I'm going to say they're going to build it here. I'm sure a lot of people have heard recently in the news that the state has taken over the effort to make sure it passes, and it's going to host all of the meetings leading up to the vote, to vote whether or not Rivian comes to Stanton Springs, Rutledge area, Morgan County. So they've set up 4 committees. The economic development for the state is setting up committees and trying to get everything in order. But so, yeah, I say it's going to go, but here's what's interesting that I think we have to look at it. Speaking of us, our contractors doing the work at Rivian. Right. We're still pushing it on our end once it gets voted in and it goes, but we're going to have to look at this differently than we look at a normal project, because when you look at Rivian, it's a manufacturing plant, but they're on their website, one of their mission statements is preserving the natural world forever. And then they have forever underlined. So basically, they're a renewable resource company that their byproduct is an EV.
Right.
So when I say our contractors are going to have to present and get their numbers in, I think it's going to be to secure the bids and to win the job. I think we're going to have to look at it a way we've never looked at a project before. And that meaning we need to think outside the box and start doing some things that help preserve the natural world forever, their mission statement. So it may be as, putting in our bids, hey, we use all EVs.
Right.
We're looking out for our ecosystem as well. We use 100% recyclable plastics, or one of the stories is a big thing that we've done as building trades is when Plant Jack McDonald was being built and they were switching from a coal burner to a natural gas. You had all this concrete that you busted up and foundations and things that plant and that those turbines were on, a foundation that went away. Well, building trades come up with the idea, what can we do with all this concrete? Where are we going to dispose of this concrete? So we come up with a plan, and we busted all that concrete up, recycled it, and it's all the gravel that's out there at Plant Jack McDonough now.
Wow.
So the old concrete that was there on the foundation has now been recycled, and that's your gravel on all your roads around that plant. That's the kind of things that Rivian are going to want to hear that we're doing. Hey, we have a total fleet of EVs. You know, we're using recyclable resources. So there's things like that are going to come into play that we're going to have to look at it different. We can't just be an electrical contractor. We're going to have to get into their world and preserve what our world is today and try to keep it going and, you know, preserve the natural world forever. And it's funny because they underline forever in their statement. So we're going to have to come at it that way. But, yeah, it's going to go. I'm almost, you know, I'm pretty certain, I'm hopeful. But we got to keep pushing and keep working together and do some outside-the-box things to secure the project. So.
Awesome. That's good. Good to hear. I'm hopeful for that for sure. All right, so the final question is, I got an email from the AECA, and they sent us some numbers that talked about our market share. Are those numbers accurate? And what does that mean for the members of 613?
As far as the numbers go on market share, I mean, you can get that off the Bureau of Labor Statistics, and you also, our national LMCCs give us those market share numbers as well that we can look up and see how we're trending. So I would say the numbers are probably pretty accurate. But I'd also point out that there's 45 contractors with AECA. We've signed 57 new contractors here at 613 since 2017. So the best way...
57.
So the best way to increase market share is to organize contractors, top down, because they're doing that work. All the meanwhile, you also have to look at the contractors that are increasing the market share with AECA. So as labor, we can't directly impact market share because we're not bidding the projects. That's the contractors that are bidding the projects. So they want to take and say market shares increased this much. That's awesome. You know, we're doing a great job. But here's what labor looks at, and here's what I would ask all the brothers and sisters out there is compare our wage increases that we've gotten. They're not keeping up with the amount of market share we're growing.
Right.
So when market share is growing and we're doing more work, but the wages are staying where they are, the management side and the contractors are increasing their profit, which that's what we want you to do, but we want to be able to match the wages that labor's receiving to your market share numbers. So if you're increasing market share, you're increasing profit. Our wages need to increase.
Right.
And they're not keeping up with that trend. And I'm putting together some stuff later on for the members that we can show you that gap between the difference of our wage increases compared to market share increases. Because if market share increases, profit's increasing. They're doing more work, they're bidding more jobs, they're working more man hours. So that's billable.
Right.
But yet labor's wages are staying stagnant. Now we're working together. We've got an MOU that we've put out to them that will give everybody a raise. It will give all classifications a raise, and it would get us closer to keeping the wages in line with those market share increases that they put out in that email. That's what we got to do. We got to make sure that everybody is growing. We can't just grow market share but wages stay stagnant, because then it will have situations like last year where we can't fill the jobs.
Right.
You know, our wages are, I would say, too low to entice other IBEW members to come into our jurisdiction and help us fill these calls. That's what it was established to do. That's why our organizations are set up like this. Well, if your wages are not where they should be and your benefits are not where they should be, then people are going to pass us by.
Yeah.
And we've got to figure out how to fix that. And we've got an MOU out that's going to help us. And we still haven't gotten an answer from AECA. We're waiting on it. But, you know, so it's a process of us trying to work together and get to where we need to be. But, you know, just keep in mind, labor wants to see wage increases that's going to reflect your market share increases that you're talking about.
Right.
And, you know, tying it to man hours and different things like that and saying we'll give you this amount of money for that, it's not something that the membership is wanting to do. And we just got to we all have to stay focused to make sure that we are working together.
And stay united for sure.
Yeah, and stay united and say, hey, I mean, this is where we're at. The numbers we threw out to the contractors, they're not astronomical. They're doable. The conversations we're having, it's like, yeah, I mean, I think we can make this work, but yet we haven't got an official answer yet. So we got to get across that hump for sure.
Well, I will look forward to hearing the stuff that you were talking about sending out. So that's it. Thank you to all the members who sent in questions. If you've got anything, you can always PM us on Facebook, and we'll accumulate enough questions to have another coffee with Kenny. It's great that you make this available to your members, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.
Awesome. Have a great weekend.